this week's video, I'm going to be showing how I've made my transporter campervan blinds. So I am going to show you step by step how I've made these. I think if I started this video by explaining to you how I was going to make them, I think a lot of you would have turned off because it sounds like a cheap, nasty, horrible idea. But by saying that they're not actually that bad, hopefully you're going to stick around and watch the whole video. Now I've done this for £20. That's not per window, that's for all four of them. So I had lots of wood and carpet left over, so I've not included them, but I think if you didn't have them, it'd be about £20 per window rather than all of them. So they are homemade, they are a bit Blue Peter, but they do work and they work pretty well. Bear in mind that the proper window blinds made for the transporter are best part of £1,000. So there are a couple of minor issues with these blinds, and also if I was doing this again, some ways that I would improve it quite a bit. So I will go over those at the end. I will show you how they work now. They're lift up blinds rather than pull down, but it was just far easier to do it that way. So you just hold the tab there and just lift it up and click it in, and that's it. So a magnet there, magnet at the top. So I'll jump into how I've made these. So the first thing to do is to make the surround for them. I've used 3mm board. It was actually the back of an old wardrobe we had that was going to the tip, but it was good quality and it was quite rigid. You could make some cardboard templates, which I did do for one of the windows, but I found it just as easy to take approximate measurements, cut the wood, and then just shape it as needed. Once you've got this to size, you need to cut out the opening for the blind. You need to make sure that all of the windows are level with each other, and also check that you've got enough clearance. So I've got this one all cut out. I've actually carpeted this, which I shouldn't have done. Don't carpet at this point. You need to carpet closer to the end. I'm going to have to take all this carpeting off. So the frame is going to be for the blind to sit in. I've made these strips from some offcuts of some lightweight ply that I've got. So I've measured these up. I'm going to glue them and screw them together, and then I'm going to bond them to this frame. So this is where it starts to sound a bit cheap and nasty. But bear with me because these blinds the material they're made out of is so much better than I was expecting. These are £5 blinds from IKEA. You actually need to cut them in half, they're too long. So you make 2 blinds per pack. I did also try these blinds from Dunelm because they're a bit wider and would have fitted better with the tailgate blind. But I will show you the difference in quality of them. So the IKEA ones are coated in some sort of fibre or PVC or something, whereas the Dunelm ones are literally paper. You can just tear them. They're like tissue paper. You can tear these IKEA ones, but they take a lot of force to tear. I don't think you'd accidentally tear them very easily. They really are quite tough. So I've got the blind, I've already cut this in half horizontally. I've measured up the window frame and I'm going to cut this to size. I've cut this handle section out of 5.5mm ply. I'm going to be carpeting that, just one side of it, and then I'm going to bond it to the top of the blind. And then that will be the pull handle I use to operate them. So I've bonded this frame on, I've used PU adhesive, clamped it down and left it overnight. So now it's ready for me to carpet it. I'm going to try and carpet it in one piece, so the front and also the back as well. Because the back you can see from, if you look through the window, you can see it. That was quite easy. That went better than I was expecting. There's a couple of bits. There's a couple of bits down the bottom there, but the blind will cover them. So these two side sections that I haven't covered, I'm going to be putting black covers over them once the blind's in place, and that's going to be to stop the light getting in. So the blinds have already got self-adhesive tape on them, so I'm just going to use that. First of all, I'm going to put some tape primer on. So this tape primer is what they use to put vinyl stickers on aeroplane, and that will just give it a really strong hold. Once I've stuck that down, I'm going to be sticking down these black side covers. I'm just going to be doing them on double-sided tape as well. These are the magnets. I got a 20 pack. They were from Amazon and they were £8 for the 20. So I'm only using 8 on these blinds, 2 per blind. They are paired, so you do have to make sure you get them right, otherwise they will push away from each other rather than towards each other. But they're really strong magnets and they should do the job fine. So one goes on the blind, one goes on the top piece. I've got to get it lined up just right. That's going to be the tricky part, and then just screw them in. That's all 4 of them done. Came out quite well. They're all working nicely. They're just about ready to go in. So this one's for the sliding door. Now that has to have a cutout for the handle to open the door. So get in there. So what I've done, hopefully this is going to work. What I've done is I've glued in a piece of carpet, and that is going to stop the light getting in. I'm going to have to attach it somehow to the other end. Perhaps Velcro. That's Velcro or tape, just to stop it, any light getting in. This is the one for the tailgate. Now I've offset this, I've done that on purpose. So these IKEA blinds, they're 100 wide. So if I'd have put this centrally, I would have just lost a lot of visibility on that corner. Even though I've got reversing sensors and cameras, I still want a good visibility out the back window. And on the other side, I've got the wardrobe unit, so I'm not going to see that anyway. To fix these blinds in, I'm going to be putting the battens in. I am going to carpet these because you can see them through the window. I'm just using self-tappers to put these in, and then I'll be using wood screws to attach the blinds to these battens. The issue with the tailgate blind is that the tailgate is curved and the blind isn't curved. So what I've had to do, I've put in this batten, I've profiled it to the curve of the tailgate, and then when I attach the blind, it's going to sit straight, so the blind will work as normal. So a few issues with the blinds. First one is they're not thermal. I don't know how much that's going to affect me. I am going to be using it over winter, so I will see how it goes. Got this crease in there. It's on a couple of blinds. I think it is from when I bonded the handle onto it, so I don't think there's much I can do about that now. The passenger sliding door, that's all fine. That works well. It does get trapped a bit. You just have to straighten it out. So the side where the handle is, I stuck that bit of carpet in. That's worked quite well. It's not letting any light in. The blind that's going to be above the kitchen area is, I made a bit of a mismeasurement with that. It's a bit tricky to get this sliding window open. Could have done with being about an inch further that way. I could still open it, it's just a bit tricky. The rear tailgate blind's fine, that works spot on. That's the one that I was worried the most about. I am getting a bit of light through on this. This is the rear quarter blind. The other blinds are fine. You see there's hardly any light coming through. But this back one, I think I've just not given it enough overhang. So if you're going to have a go at this, you need to make sure you've got a decent, about an inch overhang. So thank you for watching. Any comments are welcome, good and bad. Any ways that I can improve this. Hopefully you like it, subscribe. Hopefully some of you have a go at this. And look out for the next video.